With me now in studio is Ophyr Hanan, the project manager and international spokesperson for Israel-is NGO. Thank you so much for coming into the studio this morning. The NGO was founded in 2017 and it tends to broaden the lens of how Israel is viewed and perceived. Why? Tell us a little bit about the organization.
Yeah, so we were established in 2017 because we realized that the power of youth is something that we have to harness and really take advantage of in the international arena, especially since a lot of Israelis travel abroad after their army service. We really wanted to make sure that we know how to give them the right tools to advocate for Israel and our narrative while abroad. And that's how it all started. But now, obviously, we've reallocated all of our efforts and resources towards helping the hostages' families and sharing the Israeli narrative in terms of the war abroad.
Right, and also recently you have shifted to collecting some of the testimonies from the survivors. Just how difficult is it with so much of the criticism abroad with these testimonies that the rapes didn't occur, that the atrocities in which they experienced didn't happen? How do you combat the hate?
Yeah, it's definitely heartbreaking and very difficult to witness, and that's kind of why I started working with the families on October 7th, really from day one. We realized that the best way to try and combat the situation is just by humanizing the stories of the families. I mean, why is taking people hostage something that is a matter of public debate? It shouldn't be. It's a global humanitarian issue, and that's what we're trying to project to the world, and that's what we want the world to help support us in. That's what we've been doing, just humanizing them.
It's a very hard but very bold undertaking, absolutely, and especially because Israel's public relations tends to take such a hit during times of conflict and war in particular. Is this why NGOs such as yours are trying to get involved in the fight of making sure that Israel's image perceived abroad shifts from the usual anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist rhetoric to something a bit more positive?
Yes, definitely. There have been a lot of NGOs and initiatives, mostly from the civilian front, that have been founded either as a result of October 7th or like Israel-is, that have been here for a while, that truly, as you said, are trying to show the Israeli narrative for what it is, which is a complex but full of life narrative. So we're really, I believe that the best way to combat the situation is, again, just by showing the people, showing the hope that we have for returning the hostages and really trying to generate as much international support towards the humanitarian issues rather than, the geopolitical complexities of the region, which, as we know, far exceed my capabilities to advocate for because it's so complicated. We really just want to make sure that people understand that our nation here has been hurt. We have people that have been taken hostage, civilians, and that's what we're trying to advocate for.
As you mentioned, really bringing the human aspect, the most basic aspect, to a lot of their stories. You were able, on a dime, to switch very quickly to relocating your resources and what you guys were doing abroad to assisting the hostages and the families. Where do you see the organization going next?
I think we have to do everything in our power to keep showing these stories, to keep having people-to-people conversations and advocating for the return of the hostages through storytelling. Another project that we've initiated is a VR, virtual reality project, in which we're going to take testimonies of people who have survived or have had family members taken hostage, and we're going to showcase this to campuses abroad, particularly for university students. And I think that's also one way in which we can try and really showcase what happened here and just bring it to people's attention, get the international press, international world to advocate for our cause and help bring these people home.
Well, we at i24 News have the esteemed honor of being able to provide you with a platform to be able to do that. Ophyr Hanan, thank you so very much for joining me this morning.